Thank you for choosing Rust-Oleum Industrial Brands Concrete Protection Systems for your industrial maintenance project. Rust-Oleum's industrial flooring products are designed to reduce your preparation time, application time, and downtime while lengthening the lifetime of your industrial concrete floors. Rust-Oleum Corporation purchased Concrete Protection Systems, a company founded in 1984 and known for manufacturing high-quality toppings and coatings that could effectively protect concrete in even the most demanding industrial environments. Rust-Oleum CPS offers unequaled protection against chemical damage from literally thousands of industrial chemicals and the durability to withstand physical abuse from the most severe environments. While Rust-Oleum products are user-friendly, you should review the material safety data sheets, technical data sheets, application instruction guides, and label information carefully. Wearing proper personal protective equipment and adhering to sound safety procedures are necessary in any industrial setting. For all Rust-Oleum CPS products, hand mixing will produce inconsistent results and is not an approved method. Mechanical mixing is required. Before starting, make sure the materials, the surface, and the ambient air temperature fall within the published range for that product. No single facet of a concrete coating application contributes more to the success or failure of that application than the evaluation of the substrate and the proper surface preparation. The International Concrete Repair Institute has identified 9 distinct concrete surface profiles, or CSPs. These profiles replicate degrees of roughness considered to be suitable for the application of one or more of the Rust-Oleum Concrete Protection Systems coatings or toppings. Refer to the ICRI technical guidelines for selecting and specifying concrete surface preparations for sealers, coatings, and polymer overlays, guideline number 310.2-1997. The actual surface preparation method used may vary depending upon site conditions, performance criteria, and actual coating system selection. Contact Rust-Oleum Technical Services prior to starting the job if you have any questions. The recommended surface preparation method for the 9000 Floorclad HD is ICRI CSP number 2 through CSP number 6. This includes diamond grinding, shot blasting, and scarification. In this video, we will demonstrate the mixing and application procedures for the 9000 System Floorclad HD epoxy mortar topping. The 9000 System Floorclad epoxy mortar topping provides excellent physical protection. 9000 Floorclad is a trowel-down epoxy mortar that provides superior impact and abrasion protection in the most severe industrial environments.
Now, Floorclad is the 1/4-inch mortar system, and I told you could put it down. Typically, it's a 1/4 inch. Sometimes we'll see guys putting it down at 3/16, but standard is 1/4 inch. What's required for Floorclad will be a wet primer. We talked about systems that need primers and systems that don't need primers. Being a mortar system, the Floorclad requires a wet primer in order to get proper adhesion to the substrate. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you the mixing of the primer and the activator. Again, a pre-measured amount, so you don't have to worry about measuring in the field. It's already pre-measured units. Just add the activator to the base, mix it for about 1 minute to 1.5 minutes. With the slow-speed drill motor, we're going to use the slow-speed drill motor again with the CPS4 mixer. The concept behind the Floorclad primer is twofold. It certainly acts as the adhesion primer, but it soaks down into the concrete. We talked about that in the class section. And it also will soak up into the mortar. So we're looking at an application rate of between 8 to 10 mils, somewhere between 160, 200 square feet per gallon. Typically you have somewhere between 2.5 to 3 hours working time with this primer. Once it's applied to the floor, it'll stay tacky for that long. So you can prime out a fairly large area and work your way through it. This is the description of the screed box we're going to use to apply the 1/4-inch Floorclad mortar. This front lead edge on the box is what actually levels and spreads the mortar. The wheels are in slots and they can be adjusted for the appropriate height you need for the application requirements. Now what's typical and what we're going to demonstrate is a 1/4-inch Floorclad system. Now what you'll notice about the screed box is there's a weight that holds the front of the box down. And there's a couple of material guards And these go in the front and the back to help facilitate dropping the material down into the box. It just makes it a little bit cleaner type of operation. So this kit will cover 18 square feet at 1/4 of an inch, finished system. So we've got our sand blend, our special Floorclad sand blend. We have our white bucket of our base and our metal container of activator. Pre-measured, so all he needs to do is open the containers, dump the activator into the base, and mix it for about 1 minute to 1.5 minutes. So we're activating the Floorclad base. He'll pre-mix it with the CPS4 mixing whip. And then the material will be transferred into the bucket mixer. And we're going to mix this in a bucket mixer. The reason we pre-mix is the bucket mixer on its own does not have a very good mixing action for folding the product together and getting proper activation started. So what you need to have is you need to have mechanical mixing of this nature, not just splashing around in a bucket mixer with a bottom and side scraper. Pre-mix and then add the pre-mixed liquids in, and then we'll go ahead and add the Floorclad aggregate to that. So we've transferred all the material from the mixing bucket, and we're going to put it into the bucket mixer bucket and add the Floorclad aggregate. And we'll run this in that bucket mixer for about 1.5 minutes or so, just until we know that all the resin and aggregate is incorporated together. Can you use a 5/8 drill motor with a CPS4 to mix this kit? The answer is yes, you can. You can actually mix that mortar right in that kit, right in that same bucket, if you don't happen to have a bucket mixer. We'll empty the entire contents of the can in. Again, this is an 18 square foot kit. He'll level it out a little bit with his trowel. And then over this wet prime floor with our Floorclad primer, he'll just draw the box straight back in nice even fluid motion. We have the box set at 5/16. Our goal thickness is 1/4 of an inch. Makes for nice even distribution of the mortar. Simple tool like that screed box. Now he stops short of emptying the box because now we just want to dump another one right on top of it, and then we would keep moving across our floor. Working time with this mortar mix is going to range between 30 and 40 minutes of actual application working time, as long as you keep it out of the box and just spread out on the floor. So you would have a good 30, 35, almost 40 minutes at 70 degrees before you had to stick a power trowel or a hand trowel on this to start smoothing it down. So you can get quite a bit of mortar out and then go ahead and you know, get it troweled down. Now, one of the things I would suggest to you is that get the edge work done first. It's a bit different than finishing concrete, in that concrete, basically they're just pushing the paste around the surface and they're controlling what they want to do with the cement paste. With this, we're actually trying to put a bit of pressure on there and compress this material down, compact it down. And what it does is it helps it seal up. If you get little tiny like pieces or something that come off your tool, don't mess around with them. They'll chip right off when it cures out. So that gives you a really good example of how to install this stage of the 9000 Floorclad. We took a wet primer, the Floorclad primer. We pulled a 5/16 screed over the top. We've hand troweled it down to 1/4 of an inch, sealed it off. And tomorrow, after this cures, we'll come back and we'll show you the grout coat and the finish coat. Remember we talked about when we're troweling Floorclad that sometimes there's little balls, little pieces that aren't perfectly troweled down into the floor, and some of those are okay. One of the things you can do is either use a scraper or a mason stone and just lightly rough those areas up with a mason stone. And this just ensures we don't have any high spots in the floor. You can also use a sander. Mechanical sanding is fine. But just make sure, particularly around your edges, you have nice clean edges that are knocked down with the mason stone. Will the scratches telegraph through the coating? And the answer is no. Okay, the next demonstration is going to be the application of our 8000 OP. We're going to apply that as a grout coat over our 9000 1/4-inch Floorclad topping that we placed and finished yesterday. This OP is used over this 9000 system because the 9000 system is a little bit porous, and we don't want our grout coat just soaking in. So we use this 8000 OP to help seal off that surface. Makes it a much more uniform finish when we apply our finish coat over the top of this grout coat. A working time for the 8000 or the 8100 OP is going to be about 25 minutes, give or take 5 minutes at 70 to 75 degrees. Now we're going to mix this for about 1.5 to 2 minutes to make sure that it's properly blended together and we don't get any soft spots. This is the application of the 8000 OP over the top of our 9000 Floorclad. We use this OP as a grout coat or a fill coat to fill the top porous 9000 HD epoxy mortar. And when it's used as a finish coat, we'll give a little bit of an orange peel finish to the actual product. You notice there's no odor with this product. Makes them ideal for textile industry, anywhere where odor might be an issue. For cleanup, you can use 160 thinner, xylene, or MEK to clean your application tools. Then dispose of the materials and packaging according to local, state, and federal regulations.
We hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, please contact us at 800-553-8444 or rust-oleum.com/industrial. Thank you for choosing Rust-Oleum, the name that means protection.